Welcome back, everybody. It is time for the top five. This is advanced week 8, and we will be getting rid of this intermediate and advanced kind of thing. Um, yeah, it's a hard thing to say, you know. Some people are a little bit more confident than others, and they stick their things in the advanced. Some people are more shy, and then they end up putting them into the intermediate. So it's hard to place yourself in that aspect. So we are going to be getting rid of that stuff eventually. But the top five is going to have to evolve when all the new building restrictions come out and everything anyway. So it's going to get a total revamp. But real quick here, I wanted to give you guys a quick tour. I have had a lot of people coming over and visiting my camps and stuff like that. And, to be honest with you, some of you guys just don't know me, haven't heard of me, and they're like, well, who the hell is this guy and why is he building or doing judging on competitions, stuff like that. Well, me doing contests and stuff started a long time ago. And I didn't really push it out on YouTube or anything. But this is one of my camps that people have been getting a giggle out of. Obviously, it's a clean build, but nothing ridiculously crazy. But it does have a little trick to it, which I'm showing you here. And you can do this with all of the prefabs, by the way. I'm just going to run into this tree like an idiot, but I'll show you the front now. And you can see that it is in its destroyed state. Now, when you do that to a prefab, anything inside disappears. This one has an interior though. So what I did was I made it that, it was a clean build. And it's nothing real crazy. There is quite a bit of trickery on the inside, but it's not like this amazing, beautiful build. But this was the function of this camp, It was supposed to be a little funny thing where I could present the camp that, hey, this is maybe what it looked like pre-war, and then after the war, this is what it kind of looks like. And I also did that because I have to have crafting benches and stuff like that because I do play this game. And I like to have those things in my camp. So this is kind of how I hit it. I made it so I can flip it back and forth between clean and dirty, and the dirty version just happens to be the one where I put all my workbenches and stuff. But this is how you actually flip it back, and this is a combination of rugs, thrasher eggs, stuff like that. But it does flip back and forth relatively easy. You just got to have a nuke grenade if you really want to be effective with it. But yeah, I've had a lot of people doing that, and that's one of the reasons why I do the camp judging and stuff. I'm not the best builder by any means, but I know just about every trick that there is out there. And that's kind of what you need to know. You need to know the technical aspect. So, the legendary, the one and only, the OG princess, Lady H. And another fantastic build by her. I mean, ladies and gents, look at that. So obviously she used the cooling tower in this situation, but she did it with a twist. She made Rapunzel's castle, or tower, however you want to put it. But amazing job. On a creativity level, from the creativity and storytelling aspect, I am telling you right now, Lady H, you would have won this one for sure if that's what we were just solely basing everything on. Amazing job. You can see that she does have the Foshnot streamers and then the letters floating. The letters floating, I'm assuming they're placed on a vine, because once you destroy the vines, they do become invisible, at least on PC. I can't testify for console or anything. But on PC, if you destroy the vines, they become invisible, but the wall attachments that you do stick to it, they remain there. And I don't know if that's how she did all these Foshnot streamers for, the simulated hair, which this is adorable. This is freaking adorable. Come on. But I don't know if that's how she did that or if she just floated all those streamers upward off of blueprints and items that are down below, There's a couple ways that you could approach it. I don't know every single trick of the trade, but that's a couple ways that you could accomplish this if you try. Or she may have put, those ivies, just a whole wall of them, attach the streamers on there, and then break the ivies. But either way, however she did it, this is fantastic. This is really beautiful. And again, from a creative aspect, this is our number one. You know, it's a cool story, good execution. Not the most difficult to build, though. You can build inside this tower really easy. But the trickery with the Foshnot stuff and then the floating letters, it's really neat. It's very well done. And that storytelling aspect and the creativity side of things, that's where the building system is pushing us, okay? So the people that are real technical and skill based, all that stuff, like there's a good 97, 98% of the crap that we have to know now to build these camps. We're not going to need that stuff in the future. It will be good to keep that in your wheelhouse, though, because I'm sure that there's going to be things that do change and some tricks that you might want to do. But Lady H, I mean, you are an OG princess, an amazing builder. Now, Lady J, this is the ladies' nights, it seems like, right? Lady J had submitted this to the camp contest for the fishing. And she did get beat out only because there were some camps that were definitely more, air quotes, fishing themed. Yes, she did obviously decorate it in that aspect. But check this out. Look at how the floating tires, she's simulating that this entire thing is floating off of those tires. She did the offset roofs. If you look at the overhangs, they're overhanging, so all that stuff, there's quite a bit of trickery involved in that aspect of it. And then once we do get inside, pay attention. I try to find something floating. Try to find any floating items, anything like that. She did custom cabinetry in the kitchen area. Again, beautiful job. The quality, though, and this is something that you guys are going to have to pay attention into the future. I always mention floating items and stuff like that. Well, you're not going to have an excuse in the future. Everything kind of just, you can place it wherever you want with a relative amount of precision. And again, guys, I am assuming that, it rolls out very similar to what it is on the PTS currently. But in its current state, it is not that difficult to line everything up. This merge, beautiful merge in the bathroom. She's got the drinking fountain in there. Fantastic job. Amazing quality. And that kind of quality, that is what you guys are going to want to be reproducing in the future when this new build system comes out. We don't want any floating items because there's not going to be any reason for it. And then we have a newcomer for me, the Wet Chorizo, with an awesome freaking build above Helvetia. Now, the complexity of this build and the technical and skill level is pretty high up there. So what they ended up doing, they started off their camp outside the boundaries of Helvetia for obvious reasons. And then they had to build upward. And then, you artifact something, throw your camp module onto it, and then you keep moving forward and forward and forward and up and up and up to stay out of that bubble where the event is below. Very great job. A lot of technical aspect on this. I have seen these starfighters very, very, frequently actually. So it's not like some brand new thing or anything, but this is very well done. It's one of the better ones that I've seen, and I have visited several personally. Look at the merging in here. Everything's really well organized, not a whole lot of clipping issues. Obviously, when you're working in that tight of an area, of course you're going to have some sort of clipping, or if you merge something into another object, there is clipping. But look at, even on that aquarium fish tank, they've got the UFO, the cow being abducted. That is just adorable. You've done a really, really fantastic job with this. This is amazing. This is definitely winning material. You guys, if you've never tried to build like that, where you've had to go up in the air and then out and then just even building in the air. You're going to be making a ton of blueprints for any of the structure and stuff like that. And you can't screw it up. At least on PC, I know you can't screw it up, because if that piece gets set down and it's a wall or a floor, a roof section, it is stuck there. You have to scrap the camp. And I don't know if that's how it works for all platforms, because I don't play on console. So, amazing job though, fantastic execution, and good lord, man, hats off. Great job. This is fantastic. I love seeing stuff like that. And I love how they, most likely they darken this a little bit or used one of the filters in there. Remember that, guys. You know, when you're doing something like filming or whatever, if you want to add a little special something to the look of your camp, during that filming process, look at the filters and stuff that they have available. You can play around with that stuff and create some interesting scenes. Now, Dirty Disco. This one I thought looked relatively plain. I was like, oh wow, you know, yeah, it's really cool. It's a round birdcage kind of aviary. From a distance, it doesn't look all that special, but when we get up close and actually start getting to see that detail, this is extremely well done. Bravo. You did a very, very good job. As far as aviaries go, and I've seen quite a few of these, you know, as well. The circular structure, not completely a pain in the butt anymore, but it is difficult. You know, it's just time consuming is the main thing. But as far as aviaries, this is fantastically done. It's an extremely relaxing situation. I would be totally happy just hanging out here and just relaxing. I can almost hear the birds chirping. But this is, again, another fantastic job. Not a whole lot of crazy merging or anything like that as far as that goes. But the concept of it and the execution is really, really well done. Nice use of lighting. You've got the heart spotlights over there by the musicians playing the music and stuff. It's just really cute. It's an adorable place. And I wouldn't mind hanging out here. I like that. A lot of the builds and stuff that I do, sometimes I do it just focused on one aspect or another. And sometimes it is just, hey, this is a place just to go sit and chill, you know. If you're not really doing a whole lot of important crap in the game, you can just go sit, relax, hang out, you know. There's all kinds of different styles and things that you can do. And that's another thing that people need to remember. It doesn't always have to be this crazy, amazing build that has ridiculous technical abilities or whatever it may be. You can just build something silly and stupid, like a scene off in the woods, but it's a really great place, just that's pretty and you just want to go hang out. I mean, you can make a park scene. It doesn't matter. And that's one of the things that I am looking forward to with the new building system. So as of right now, everything is very skill-based. It's based on your skill, your technical knowledge, and your ability to manipulate the game in ways that you shouldn't. That way you can create beautiful things like this. I mean, look at that scene. You cannot look at that scene and then tell me that that's not gorgeous. If you do, you're lying. It is. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm looking forward to that aspect because we are going to see that dynamic shift from, hey, this is all skill and technical and you have to have all this wizardry and trickery to be able to do this crap, to it's going to push more in the direction of just the creative mind and how well you can represent the story or the scene that you're trying to create. Fantastic job, though. Now, Hexapotin, you surprised me with this one. I was a little bit blown away with this. I've only seen a couple other people do this. Look at the bottom of her foundations when she does show them. So she has simulated the raider cages actually holding up a lot of different portions of this structure. Fantastic idea. I love the look of that. I've seen people do that before. I don't think that they did it as well as she did. Like right there at the very bottom of your screen, the raider cages, stuff like that, that she's using to, simulate that, hey, I'm supporting all this stuff. Very well done. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a very cool camp, though. The use of the rad kelp, yeah, it's not like technically air quotes lighting or anything like that, but you can see how that animation changes the ambiance of the scene. It adds that movement and motion and fluidity to it. So very well done, though. I love seeing this stuff. I really do. When you guys send me a bunch of stuff, I actually look forward to doing this stuff because there's so many different things that I see that, it may not be a style that I would ever consider doing or anything, but it gives you those ideas, and the stuff that you guys make, it's inspiring. And I like the little cute things like that. Added the boop, boop. It's silly little stuff like that, sometimes it's just nice when you're roaming through somebody's camp and you open something up and see a little message or something like that that's cute. But again, I don't see anything floating. There's a tiny bit on top of that raider cage, that could have been eliminated. But for the most part, there's very, very little quality problems and with any of Hexapotin's builds, really. Go to her channel. You need to go to all these people's channel. Give them a like and a sub. Check out their content because they all have very, very creative ideas and they're fantastic builders. You'll get a lot of inspiration off of that. And, again, people, if you see somebody using your idea, don't get butthurt about it. Be thankful that they thought it was good enough. So, dark one. This one is strangely deceiving. So, hopefully they show the front again. But if not, go back, rewind. You're going to see that they have offset foundations right there. You can see that center window is closed up really small. They used offset foundations because of that roof line. And to be able to create things like that, sometimes you do have to kind of offset or stagger things. And guys, gals, amphibians, and whatever else is out there that people identify as, I ain't judging. But I am saying that in the future, lining up roofs like that, Moonlight Cowboy has some fantastic tutorials showing you guys how to do that stuff. You're not going to need that. A lot of that stuff you're not going to need anymore. You can just free float those stuff in the air. You can line them up. Now, if you want pixel perfect and be able to snap things together, then yeah, definitely go check out Moonlight's videos. Very good at doing tutorials and explaining these things for you guys. But in the future, most of that trickery and stuff, we're not going to really need a whole heck of a lot of it anymore. And that's really disappointing for me because I love that challenge. That's what drives me to build. It's the challenge of trying to figure out how to make this freaking work. And it's kind of like a puzzle. So for me, it is going to kill a lot of that aspect for me. But, it is going to be pushed off to those more creative minds. And your creativity is basically going to limit. That is the speed limit now. It's just, that is going to be what limits you as a creator to be able to make wonderful things like this. I mean, this is an old church and somebody's revamped it. It's very well done. The offset floors. Look at all the merging. All the kitchen's custom. That floor that is raised there's a roof section in it, so they're using a different texture, that multi-layer of texturing again that we always beat to death. Texture, texture, texture. But it creates that simulation that, hey, this isn't like some regular in-game asset, Fantastic job, though. The quality on this is phenomenal. You don't see a bunch of floating crap. I mean, obviously, you can see that. So there was a lot of attention to detail. In the bathroom, they were using energy emitters to simulate shower heads. It's that level of detail. Mwah, chef's kiss, man. Fantastic. Now, we do have a couple of honorable mentions before we get to the top 5. Dead Guy Crafts. Now, he has recently joined the group, and he has sent some stuff in here that has smashed some of the competition. Amazing builder. Love it. I can't wait to see what you do in the future. Definitely deserve an honorable mention on this one. This one was really structural heavy, though, on the budget, so it didn't allow a whole heck of a lot to decorate with. And then we have Atomic Punk 24. Fantastic clean build. Not a whole lot of trickery going on in this one other than some double walls, but it's just a really well done build, and it came out beautiful. The quality's there. You got some merging, but nothing ridiculously crazy. It's just really well done and a very nice clean build. So great job on that. And I like how the use of the pre-existing location there. So fantastic job, everyone. I really appreciate all the participation. So next week I will be getting out the intermediate. I'm going to slow this down just a little bit because it is going to be 2 to 3 weeks before I get my PC back from repair, and that is best case scenario. So for tonight, our winners are, in first place, we have the Wet Chorizo, and that was the Starfighter build. That was fantastic. Great job. In second, we have Dirty Disco. That was that awesome aviary that we ended up taking a look at. In third, Hexapotin. And that was the one that was supported up by the Raider cages and all kinds of things. Fantastic. In fourth, we have a tie. Yeah, it's going to be a tie for fourth because we have Lady J and the Dark One. Both of you did phenomenally well on that. If I put both of your builds on the scales of justice, where, skills and knowledge, you could flip either one of these around in positions, so it did not really matter in that aspect of it, and they both definitely deserve to be in that place, which leaves a spot, because I don't want to leave this one out for sure. We have Lady H and the Rapunzel. So that Rapunzel build, fantastic. I love the creativity. If we were going basic, just solely based on creativity and the storytelling aspect of it, that one definitely took the cake as far as uniqueness and stuff like that. But the build itself, not extremely technical, but everything that she did do was fantastically done. So I thank you guys very much. We are kind of slowing down on the top 5 with the entries and stuff. Again, like I said, that PC is still not back from repair. On average, if you Google warranty repairs, 3 weeks is an acceptable time. So it kind of sucks. And that doesn't include shipping. So most likely it will be gone a total of 5 weeks. And that's just really killing me. So I apologize for the inconvenience, but definitely keep getting your stuff in. I'll let you know when, though. We'll hold off just for right now. I'm trying to get some vaults out for you guys, and that stupid video, I'm mad at the vaults. Not the vaults themselves, but every time that I've tried to make that video, it keeps crashing on me and then corrupting the file. So I have to keep starting over and over and over. But until next time, my friends, I love the hell out of you, and I will see you in the next one.